Hi, I'm Alex Saransky, and this is Andrew Hamill. And we're here to talk to you about diamonds. Specifically, diamonds in Canada, diamond mines in Canada, products they make, where they go, how they're made, how they're mined, and we're going to compare it to mining conditions in Africa.
The blood diamonds. Isn't that what they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bet you all think that you know about the creation of diamonds. I'll bet you think that diamonds were somehow formed by coal that's been compressed over like a long time. But that's actually not true. In fact, coal has absolutely nothing to do with the diamond process at all. In fact, most of the world's diamonds are older than the world's first plants. And plants are what fuel the diamond process, because when plants die and are buried in the ground and then their dead plant matter is compressed, that is what forms the diamonds, not coal.
A man named Charles Fittke was stranded on a mountain in the 90s in the Northwest Territories, but was saved by a helicopter piloted by Stuart Blusson. Both were geologists and prospectors, and when they met, they became friends after that encounter and started looking for diamonds in Canada. They were looking in the Northwest Territories, they were looking at none of it. They were looking for indicator minerals of kimberlite pipe, which is an indicator of diamonds.
I guess you could say they found none of it.
The first location they found was Point Lake, but at first they weren't so sure to establish a mine there because it was a lake. They'd have to drain it, mine underground, it wasn't very safe. So they decided it was uneconomical to actually start a mine there, and they continued looking. They continued looking through the Northwest Territories, and they finally found indicator material in an area about 220 kilometers away from Yellowknife today. Finally, these two guys hit the jackpot. While searching in the Northwest Territories, about 200 kilometers from Yellowknife, they found an area where they established the Ekati Mine, one of the most successful mines in Canada. This insane mine produces over 7.5 million carats of diamonds every year. In 2002, Stuart Blusson's net worth was $295 million. In 2002. This was 4 years after the Ekati Mine officially opened. Charles Fittke was also wealthy, and when his wife divorced him, their settlement broke records. The assets that his wife took from him were worth over $123.5 million.
After the success of the Dominion Diamond Corporation with the Ekati Mine, De Beers Mining Company decided to start up their own mine at Snap Lake on the shores. Snap Lake can be found 210 kilometers northeast-ish from Yellowknife, and they found a lot of kimberlite there, but apparently not as much as the Ekati Mine, because the Snap Lake mine only managed to collect 1.5 million carats annually. I suppose that the De Beers Mining Company thought that they'd find more diamonds because this mine was the first ever mine to be completely underground. So there's no open pit, it's just an underground mine. And they thought, hey, this is going to be more efficient. But no, they actually found like nothing in comparison to how much the Ekati Mine is still finding. 2 years after the Snap Lake mine was opened, De Beers decided to open up the Victor Mine, which is pretty much insignificant considering how much money the Ekati and Diavik mine made, considering this only brought in maybe 700,000 carats annually. That's pretty bad. And of course, some new company, Shearpoint, opened up the Jericho Mine, which also made pretty much nothing. In 2006, there was a lot of hype because the Victor Mine had just opened, and this was the first diamond mine in Ontario. And since then, there hasn't been any other diamond mines to be opened here. And I guess that's because there's not enough kimberlite in Ontario for diamonds to be found. Now, when we say mining, we could be referring to a lot of different things, but in Canada, we've only used two methods to mine diamonds: open pit mining and underground mining. Open pit mining is the safest of the two. How it works is you dig on an angle down into almost like a giant pit. I mean, that's what it is, open pit mining. And you dig on an angle to form steps. Then the vehicles can move up and down these steps to transport any material that's being dug up while you're mining. All of these dug up materials are taken up on trucks and other vehicles up the roads that are being built in this pit to a screening plant, where all of the ore-bearing rocks are separated from other waste materials, such as random soil and rocks. Before starting an open pit mine, geologists take a sample of the soil and rock that they're going to be digging through. Depending on the hardness of the soil and rock, they need to use a different tool. So if we're working with some softer rock and some kind of weak dirt, they'll use softer tools than if they're just digging into bedrock.
The only other method for diamond mining is underground mining. Usually, it's not the only method used at an established mine, but it occurs when the pit that they've created in an open pit mine has become so deep they actually have to start mining underground. Most mines begin as an open pit mine, but once the spiral they create becomes too narrow, they have to resort to using an underground method. Schematics are drawn up to make the safest possible mine. Of course, there are lots of hazards you can't prepare for, which is why sometimes it's not a very good idea. Underground bodies of water are probably the most dangerous because there's no way for you to detect them because they're underground. Water also speeds up the decomposition of dirt, soil, organic material, etc., which can also be very bad and can flood your mine. While underground mining is very dangerous, it's also a lot cheaper, which is why Snap Lake Mine was so successful. The majority of Canadian diamonds are sold to jewelers and diamond drill bit manufacturers. Diamonds are one of the hardest materials on Earth, which is why they're so great to use in a drill bit, because they never really wear away and they're really sharp. Diamonds are also a luxurious jewel, which is used in jewelry, and it's very popular for things like engagement rings and earrings, and I don't really care about that stuff. Husqvarna is a very popular outlet for diamond drill bits, which are used in tools and bigger machinery.
Take 17,000.
Diamonds are also used in dentistry. Dentists use small drills to remove material from teeth using little burrs. Some of these burrs are made with diamond bits on them, and because of their hardness and longevity, they are preferred over the use of anything else. Sabre is a popular outlet for buying these dentist burrs with diamonds on them. They are a Chicago company, but they use Canadian diamonds. Husqvarna is a popular retailer of diamond drill bits for use in industry, specifically machinery and mining.
Like anything else, diamond mining has an environmental impact, which isn't really that rad of a topic, but it happens. So when you're mining diamonds, you are going to mess up the environment a little bit. Think of it this way. When you're mining, you are digging into the ground, and you can cause some areas above ground, especially if you're doing underground mining, to become less stable, and it can result in cave-ins, and that could ruin any ecosystems or environments above the ground. With all the machinery running, it can usually cause a really bad ecological footprint, which can end up hurting the caribou, wolves, and other animals around the area, which are providing food for the Aboriginal peoples. When you're digging a mine in an area, you're usually away from most civilization, and so you're really just kind of invading on small villages of Aboriginal peoples. And all of the noise that you're making and all of the commotion that you're making digging up the ground is going to disturb these cultures. And a lot of the money made in these mines isn't really going back to them, so we're just kind of screwing them over. With the methods that we're using to dig in Canada for diamonds, there's really no way of creating a method that's going to end up well for us in the long run, because you see, after all this work we're doing, it's going to end up accumulating to this kind of wasteland area. Once we're done mining all the diamonds out of an area, it just becomes this big pit in the ground, and then no life wants to live there. Don't forget, these kind of environmental impacts are going to happen everywhere around the world when you're mining, unless you have some kind of super way to mine in which you dig up all the stuff and then somehow manage to fill it in with dirt that you pulled out of nowhere. So we all know that diamonds are going to go to one of two places, and that's jewelry or manufacturing for tools. Now, when it gets put into jewelry, it's usually put into rings, earrings, all kinds of stuff that's kind of worthless because I'm a man, and unless I plan on buying a ring for a woman, I don't really care about diamonds and jewelry or jewelry at all. Of course, there is still a lot of money to be made there. When I say diamonds are used in tools, it can be used in one of two more categories. This can be in digging stuff like drills, but it can also be in hygiene tools. And when I say hygiene tools, I'm referring to like the stuff the dentist uses, which seems kind of weird to be using diamonds in a dentist office, but that's not unusual. In fact, a lot of burrs for dentist tools are infused with diamond because of their longevity and hardness. In fact, on the Mohs hardness scale, they are considered the hardest material on Earth. And remember, it's made from plants. There's a lot of work to be done in the diamond mining industry, and then what happens with the diamonds afterward? We need people to work the machinery to mine the diamonds. We need people to manufacture tools out of the diamonds. We need people to transport the diamonds to the manufacturers and the product from the manufacturers to retailers. We need people to work the retailers, and we need the retailers to be selling them to someone. We need someone to be buying the diamonds, and of course, all kinds of other jobs are created in this process. Diamond mining in Canada has definitely brought a lot of money. Remember, 7.5 million carats a year from the Ekati and Diavik mine. That's a lot of carats.
Canada is greatly involved in processes such as the Kimberley process and other laws that help prevent conflict or blood diamonds from coming into Canada. Blood diamonds, or conflict diamonds, are diamonds that are mined in a war zone, and they're used to finance an insurgency or to help buy weapons. In the 1990s, during a civil war in the Republic of the Congo, a diamond was mined called the Millennium Star. It was 200 carats and it was worth millions of dollars. This diamond was sold by warlords to De Beers, a mining company that has a few mines in Canada, which helped fuel that civil war right at the peak. Shortly after that occurred, Canada began getting involved with creating processes that would regulate the transfer of diamonds and rough diamonds through Canada and Africa to help prevent financing these insurgencies and these wars. To help regulate these diamonds, they would inscribe finished diamonds with the origin of the diamonds, where they came from, and who brought them there. Even here in Canada still, working in the mining industry, especially the diamond mining industry, is a dangerous job with high rewards and high stakes. It's not necessarily uncommon for people to carry guns in the far north, which is easily comparable to something like the Wild West way back when. It's lawless up there. I mean, look at Indiana Jones. He was kind of an archaeologist, prospector kind of guy, and look what happened to him. Hi, I'm Alex Sorensky, and this is Andrew Hamill. Dude. Stop.
The network. Damn it.
The origin... Charles Blusson.
No, it's Charles Bipke. Stuart Blusson.
Just start like, in fact, blah blah blah.
It's Charles Fifke and Stuart Blusson.
Who was on the mountain?
Fifke was trapped on the mountain. Charles was on the mountain. Blusson saved him.
Okay.
I'm not putting that in, don't worry.
No, I'm thinking of just... Don't worry about it.
He gave me 20 shots. For
For
Whistle I know, for Whistle I didn't do. Riley didn't. Look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Yeah. I'm getting paper. Look at me now. Oh, look at me now. Yeah. Yeah, fresh.